So the Browns can go, obviously, to the playoffs. They can win a playoff game. They can get to the AFC Championship game, but stops there.
Right there?
As it stands right now, it stops there. Y'all know this.
Why?
Of all the national media members, maybe me and Orlovsky ride harder for Baker Mayfield than anybody else. I do it with, Colin's show preceding ours and some of the Baker slander that just kind of infiltrates and migrates over to this set. I shake off the Baker slander.
Dog, stay slim on him. Stay on him.
Baker, that dude.
Don't do that.
But as it stands right now, I need to see more from Baker if I am going to believe that they are going to go far. Can I go to the big board?
You gotta go to the big board. I just saw you get skinny.
Can we go to the big board?
Get skinny up there.
Let me go to the big board, man. Y'all know we gotta go. Let me just break this down for y'all, big dogs. I look at the AFC in tiers. I'm only going to talk about 2 tiers because I'm only going to talk about the good teams, the really competent teams. And let's start last year. Last year, we knew what it was. The Chiefs, head and shoulders above everybody else, and they was up there with your Bills. Your Bills was doing their thing last year.
Right.
But outside of that, Steelers, Browns, Ravens, Titans, Colts. For me, it was any given Sunday, really, with them dogs. That whole second tier, they were going to fight each other. But we knew who the top tier was. Okay, this year, Baker, can you get into that top tier for me? Please, can you please? And I just don't see it, Sel. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, I think they jumped up, you know what I'm saying, trying to get into that top tier. I understand they lost to the Raiders, which is why I put the Raiders now in the second tier. Man, I had to get the Colts up out of there. But the Titans, Steelers, Browns, Bills, now, to me, they're in that second tier. Until Baker can do like Lamar and get his team into that next tier, I just don't see the Browns being able to get to a Super Bowl. Can they win a playoff game? Yes. Can they get to an AFC Championship game? Maybe. But I'm going back to the desk because I don't see it.
Yeah, come on back to the desk. I
don't see it.
Are you getting taller, growing? Like, what the hell going on with the bottom of your suit? Like, and what kind of shoes are those?
My ankle cleavage getting a little risque.
It is. And what kind of shoes are those?
I don't even know, man. They were a gift.
Oh, okay. I could tell. They're free. No stripe Adidas. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. Let's talk about how far you could go with the Baker Mayfield-led Browns. Can't go nowhere. Man, you ain't going dog. People think I hate on Baker just because I respect the facts. I respect the numbers. And when I say them, all of a sudden, I'm not the one to invite to the dinner party. Everybody's sitting there want to go kumbaya over Baker Mayfield. You know what? I'm going to give you guys who support Baker Mayfield this. Even though your rooting interest should never, ever make you overlook the facts. However, I will give you this. You know who Baker Mayfield is? Heller gave me this one. This is amazing. Baker Mayfield is almost and barely. He almost good enough to win the Week 1 game against the Chiefs, and then he barely good enough to beat the Houston Texans when...
That's actually a bar, bro. I hate that that's a bar. Browns fans, I'm sorry.
Without Tyrod Taylor getting hurt in the game. That's who Baker Mayfield is. If you think he's good, you're right. If you think he's bad, you're right too. And that's the problem. Don't believe me? Let's listen to the actions of Kevin Stefanski. Y'all gonna take this one to Baker. Let me be real. Baker Mayfield is considered a top 10 quarterback by those who believe in him. And he's not considered a top 10 quarterback to those who don't believe in him. I don't believe in him. And I don't think his team believes in him as well. At least the play calling doesn't believe in him. You know that Baker Mayfield right now is 27th in passing attempts in the NFL? Don't trust him. Now, that's coming off a year he was 28th. So they basically saying, we're going to do this again, Baker. We're going to let you manage this team. Why do I bring that up? Because Baker Mayfield still is the guy who has more interceptions this year than touchdowns. Why do I bring that up? Because you look at certain things about Baker Mayfield, they're not top 10, but it's still some positives. He's 13th in yards, and he's 13th in quarterback rating. Yeah, but that's not top 10 worthy, but close. Let's talk about Baker Mayfield in totality and then in mentality. Where is he top 10? 2 places. One, in interceptions thrown. That's not a place you want to be top 10. He is 7th in throwing interceptions right now. Okay, that's not a good stat. Let's talk about where he's also top 10. Completion percentage. And then you got to get smart about the game of football and realize if you have the fewest attempts, you got the opportunity to have the greater completion percentage because you're throwing fewer attempts. Acho, I don't like your face right now, so let me say something that'll make you smile because you're not liking that I'm not liking Baker Mayfield. The worst part about Baker Mayfield is really his mentality. I always say it. He goes too full frat boy. Frat boy fresh. I hate when I see this as a leader. And you know what I'm talking about. Baker, didn't you learn from your mistake last year when you threw an interception and Odell went chasing down your interception? And what happened to Odell? Wop, wop, wop. So then Baker Mayfield throws an interception in this game. And I immediately, just, you know, the mental note, you're like, I hope I don't see Baker Mayfield on the screen because I know he go frat boy fresh. And look what happens. Who gets hurt on a play trying to stop a interception return? Baker Mayfield. Why is that a problem? One, it's a contract year, bruh. Like, you trying to get paid right now. Let's just keep it real. But beside the money, the leadership. Guys need you to do your job and do your job well. They don't need you to get out of position, turn into a defender for one play or for one interception, and then put your whole career damn near on the line. And then post-game, you know what he says about that interception? Oh, you know, it was a bad read, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw the runner coming back at me, and he saw it was me, so then he tried to unload on me. Yeah, you think not? Like, Ossie. As soon as an NFL defender here, Ossie, first thing you're thinking, what a quarterback. Find a quarterback. And Baker, we can't touch you in today's game unless you want to get touched. And Baker Mayfield wanted to get touched. You add up everything I just said, man, you can't go far with Baker Mayfield. Not with that level of production and certainly not with that mentality.
Let me start with the fact that I hate that I agree with some of your take. I phrase it like this. Baker Mayfield is not the reason you lose, but he will be the reason you don't win. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of, I'm with you when he's an almost barely guy. Yeah. Like, he's almost good enough to beat the Chiefs, and he's barely good enough to beat the Texans. I hate that as a Baker fan, as someone who sees the good in Baker, it's almost right. Like,
come on.
Nah, Baker wasn't the reason they lost last week to the Chiefs, not at all. But he's the reason they didn't win.
That last pick?
I think he was trying to throw it out of bounds.
I give a damn what you're trying to do.
I feel you.
The road to hell.
Even like, he's just the reason they don't win, and I need Baker. I desperately need you to be the reason. I don't want it to be Chubb. I don't want it to be Hunt. And in all honesty, I'm fine with it being Chubb and Hunt at times because that's their role. But Baker, when it's time to be you, it's got to be you. Second to last play versus the Chiefs right before halftime. When it's time for you to hit Njoku for a 60-yard bomb, I understand there was a holding call, but you didn't know that when you missed the throw. I need you to hit the call. I need you to hit the ball. I need that to happen. But, so until Baker can take that next step, the Browns can't take that next step.
Exactly.
And the kicker is, and Browns fans, let's just talk real here. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. Lamar Jackson yesterday, he outdueled Patrick Mahomes. Not necessarily in a box score, not necessarily in passing yards, but Harbaugh looked at Lamar and said, hey, you want to go for it? And Lamar said, yes. And he got the first down. Lamar Jackson, even after throwing a pick six, even after throwing another pick, he said, you know what? I'm just as important to my team, just as important for my team as you, Patrick Mahomes. I fervently believe the Cleveland Browns have the best roster in the National Football League when all parties are healthy. I believe the Browns have the best roster, but the Browns don't have the best quarterback. Baker Mayfield, you are the limiting reactant to the Cleveland Browns. I ain't used that word in a long time. I'm glad it's back. The limiting reactant being what's going to stop the Browns from achieving their ultimate goal is going to be Baker. The Browns can do everything they want if Baker lets them and if Baker commands them to. Baker just has to be better. He's not bad. But he got to be better, Sal.
Let me tell you this. Does he need to be better? I'm going to break Baker down a little further. I'm glad to see that I've converted you as well. If you ain't on the fence, you on my side of the law. No trespassing.
No.
Beware the dog will bark.
I'm on the other side. I'm just looking through. I'm looking through the fence. It's one of them little like gated fence.
What you looking at? What you looking at? What you over here looking at? Miss Parker. Miss Parker. Shout out to respect AJ. Rest in peace, brother. Baker Mayfield for the last 6 games. Why I say last 6 games? Because I'm going to take a quarter sample from last year, and I'm going to take the first 2 games this year. 95.5 is quarterback average and quarterback rating. Baker's under that, 94.9. Baker Mayfield, the last 6 games is a 500 record, 3-3. Baker Mayfield, the last 6 games, 6 touchdowns, 5 giveaways. Y'all need to keep up with this stuff, y'all. Baker Mayfield, let's talk. I swear, man. You know why I'm intrigued by him? Because I see it in him. I would be that frustrated coach. Like, Baker, I see it. Like, When he got drafted number 1 overall, the reaction was already split. I guess that's why he's a polarizing figure, because he came into the NFL polarizing. I remember being at a room, and it was like a crowded venue. We were hosting this event. Baker Mayfield was drafted number 1, and I couldn't tell if they were cheering or booing because you heard both at the same time. And now in this moment, you're looking at Baker Mayfield like, does this team get the most out of Baker when they need him most? I think more importantly, when you need him most, you trust him the least, because he's not going to be a guy that could put the team on his shoulder and win the game with his arm. Why? You ready for this? Baker Mayfield, amongst the quarterbacks that have had his number of attempts or more since 2018, second most giveaways. You can't do that since 2018. So I don't go 6 games. I don't go this year. You just keep going back and you keep looking at it. And if he's turned the corner, then in week 1, you don't throw that interception that loses the game. If you've turned the corner, then you still don't sit here after week 2 saying I've still thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. You lead this team 1-1. Can't be mad at it. Could be better, but obviously could be worse.